Namaste, beautiful souls. Welcome and thank you for watching. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. So this is about Saint Germaine's prophecy for 2025. Big changes and return of the Galactic family reunion. You know, at some point, not so far away in my life, I did not even believe in the ascended masters. I was kind of suspicious that this is just another made-up creation of beings kind of above us that tell us what to do, what to think, and so on. Until Saint Germaine appeared in my physical mediumship circle, a training group for interested, sensitive people who want to play and experience and learn with their psychic senses. So after he appeared in my group, and I saw that he was real because I could see him and I felt his presence, also did the others in the group. I, of course, apologized and said sorry that I didn't trust you. And he just did like this. Okay, all over, already done. Let's carry on with more important stuff. So now that I know that Saint Germaine is real, I came back to some of my knowledge around the Theosophical society and the esoteric knowledge of Madame Blavatsky that I had read and studied a little bit with my Rosicrucian experience when I was with the Rosicrucians, learning and studying texts of all religions, so to speak, and ancient texts of all directions to have a broader view. So Saint Germaine gave a prophecy already in the 1700s about this year we are now in, about 2025. And this prophecy was passed on recently or in, the latest time by Annie Besant from Madame Blavatsky's Theosophical Society, and it was about a return of Yeshua, Jesus, and the angelic ETs like Valiant Thor, coming from Venus. Maybe you heard of the book Stranger at the Pentagon, who came to Earth, appeared in a human form and body, and worked out a plan how to defeat the evil that has taken over the planet Earth. So it's about a galactic family reunion, Yeshua's and the angelics return in this year 2025. And by the way, the Roswell EBE, and EBE means extraterrestrial biological entity, that was kept from the Roswell UFO crash or UAP crash in a secret facility under Area 51, I think, or 52, however these numbers are. They kept quite some of the alive ETs there, and that one special EB gave the same kind of information that they will return in the year 2025. So what does that mean? Valiant Thor, coming from the planet Venus and being a higher evolved being, so to speak, from fifth density, He worked out a plan with a positive military in the Pentagon, how to defeat the evil that has taken over planet Earth. And he also confirmed that the year 2025 marks a special point in Earth's history, and that they will all come back and we will have kind of a galactic family reunion. My own astral travels on board the ships of Pleiadian Taigetans more or less told me the same. They told me that they will show up more and more until no one can any longer deny that we are not alone and that there are others of both color, benevolent and malevolent, ones trying to help us to kind of open up to higher consciousness and evolve further on, and the others, the malevolent forces, trying to keep us dumbed down, unconscious, and kind of like cattle feeding off of our energy, and that's why they want to maintain the world as it is with all its chaos and the long story of violence and war that we experience here on Earth. So looking at astrology, I get some proof to these prophecies, because usually I stay away from prophecies because events and timelines can change. So the future is not set in stone. It is a field of probability and possibility. Of course, past choices change this field to one or the other outcome. And as higher consciousness outside of Earth does not measure time like we do in a linear fashion, like past, present, and future, but they measure in events. There are certain events on timelines that are kind of fixed, but the how and whereabout, or how it will kind of work out, this is still in the field of being able to be changed. But there are some kind of fixed events. So higher consciousness measures the experiences and the events, not the years or centuries like we do. So in astrology, we have coming up at the 28th of this month, August 2025, a sextile aspect, which is a geometrical relationship affecting our consciousness between the three outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And this sextile aspect constellation will repeat in 2026 and 2027 again. Even the law of one states that planets are entities, conscious beings incarnated as planets. So Uranus is the archetype of revolution and freedom, and stands for unexpected breakdowns, innovative ideas and breakthroughs. Neptune is the archetype of transcendence and idealism, and it affects collective dreams, imagination, spirituality, and inspiration. And Pluto stands or represents endings and new beginnings, spiritual growth, and rebirth. In its negative expression, it is the obsessive desire for power and control and general destructiveness. So this sextile can and will create periods of widespread philosophical, political, and spiritual change, disorientation and confusion, and it will undermine our assumptions about reality and dissolve established structures of belief. So we are in the storm is upon us. We're in kind of the last little bit of that, and great changes are ahead in every field and area of society. And well, this is kind of what I am waiting for since I came into this body and was born on Earth, because I always had the feeling something big will come, and this will be kind of the moment. And I'm waiting for that since long, and I can feel the energy amping up nearly every day. And I'm very curious how this will all kind of play out. But as I'm also very interested in the ET and UFO or UAP field, I know a little bit about the plan that valiant Thor worked out with the positive factions or part of the Pentagon to defeat the evil that has taken over our planet. So we will have to acknowledge that ETs and UFOs and UAPs are real. We cannot deny that any longer. There are more and more showing up, and it will get much easier to discern between the man-made kind of rebuilt extraterrestrial technology that militaries got from crash retrievals, and the real otherworldly or other dimensional ETs showing up in their ships that can do stuff our flying devices cannot do yet. So they are showing more up as orbs or plasma-like ships. They're not these clumsy, still material-built things. There are even ships that have their own consciousness inhabiting them, and they work in cooperation with the crew of the ship and protect them and do stuff like that. So it will be very, very interesting. We're living in the most interesting times right now. And I wanted to share this prophecy of Saint Germaine, because I believe it will come true, and it already started to unfold. Just to give you an idea of hope, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel. With all the confusion and and disinformation we are living under right now, there is hope, and it's not hopium. It's a real thing that's unfolding. We will get disclosure. It's already starting, although it's kind of hindered from the negative faction and goes drip, drip. But all at once, not everybody could handle that. So we need some time to kind of adapt to the things coming up and showing up, and kind of throwing our worldview into totally new aspects and turning everything upside down. For some, for me, not so much, because I'm used to that already. I had a lot of time, nearly all my 15 years of being a trained medium and working with clients, to adapt to that. And I got my world view thrown over, I can't even count how many times, but it's always kind of a growth process, because it's about expanding consciousness. And in that expanding, we can reunite with our galactic family, because most of us already had incarnations with their soul in other star systems. We come from other societies and time timelines and other dimensions and maybe higher consciousness, and we all came together here on Earth, right here and now, to experience the big change and ascension, or however you want to call it, and to witness that and help with that by our own example or experience. Because even if you think you're not doing very much, everything, every shadow you integrate in yourself, everything you do, every inner process you go through is kind of shared in the collective subconscious of humanity. And by that, every one of us doing an inner step is helping all the other ones, all the other seekers and fellow humans on this planet to get to the point where we are ready to expand our consciousness and enter back again into relationship with other beings, and kind of step into the light again. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you very much for watching. Blessings, liberation and fortitude for you, beautiful souls. And thank you for watching. Bye.